Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic day. I'm Scott Molchan of the Million Dollar Landscaper. And tonight I am joined by Brian Fox of Fox Pro Landscapes. And tonight we are going to be talking a little bit about our upcoming numbers course and all that it's in there, and just kind of let you guys hear from somebody that's been through some of the stuff inside the academy. So welcome, Brian. Thanks for being on here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Scott. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So Brian, just if you don't mind, let the people hopping in here know a little bit more about you and what you're all about.
Sure, Scott. My name is Brian Fox, and I run Fox Pro Landscaping with my son Aiden and his best friend. We're a small family-owned company. We've been in business starting towards the end of 2017. We were part-time, and a couple of years ago we went full-time. So we brought our revenue. We tripled our revenue. Which wasn't really a lot because we were part-time. But we did triple our revenue in like 2020. And then we ended up getting a little bit of coaching from Million Dollar Landscaping, which really helped us understand our numbers. And that's helped us grow leaps and bounds over the past couple of years. So
Nice. Well, thank you for that. So just everybody's out here listening. I have two different monitors going. I have Instagram going on my phone and the Facebook and YouTube live going on the computer. So we got people that are on the Instagram that may not be able to hear all this stuff, but for those on Instagram, we're joined by Brian Fox of Fox Pro Landscaping, and tonight we're talking about the numbers course and the estimating course that we have coming up here on January 1st and 22nd. So Brian, when you first joined the Million Dollar Academy, what was your biggest struggle? What were you looking to learn when you joined our academy?
So we were, when we joined your academy, Scott, we were mainly a lawn maintenance company, right? We really needed to understand our pricing, like how to price lawn care. Okay. We had no clue. I mean, we were, there were so many things that we were leaving out of the equation, the truck, the gas for the equipment, the maintenance, and all that stuff. We were using the old, Facebook group, what do you charge for landscaping methodology. So one of the things that we got from Million Dollar Landscaper and the systems that you have, that's the key word right there, is a systematic approach at looking at our costs. And that helped us. Once we understood our costs, we were able to become more profitable. Mm-hmm. So that right there alone, that in itself was that's what kind of flipped the switch for me.
Yeah. Was there any number or something that really stood out to you the most as far as the numbers? Was it like equipment or labor or something shocking? Or
for me, it was really the whole ball of wax.
Okay.
I knew there was a labor component and a labor burden component on top of that. Even when it came down to the labor burden, I was leaving things out like workman's comp. I was paying it, I wasn't charging it. And a mindset, the thing that changed the most was, my mindset was, why should I pay the customer to drive to their house? Mm-hmm. The customer should pay me to drive to that house. I just didn't know how to I didn't know how to factor that in and get them to pay me to drive to their house. Now they pay.
Yeah. Well, it is an important cost, and many people leave it out of their bids and don't even think about it. And it's something that can really hurt you. Like that alone with like loading up time, especially if you're landscaping stuff, that's a lot of time loading up, getting materials, going to the supply shop, whatever it is, it costs money and it should be charged to that customer.
Estimating time too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Supervision time, even if you go out there to look at the property, you need to add that in there. If you have like doing property maintenance, if you go out there and check, like, especially if you're doing commercial and you go out and do a monthly check on a property or something to see how the crews are doing, that's the supervision fee that should be
Yep.
included somewhere. So
Yep.
otherwise it's just eating out of your profits. And
Yep. Exactly. And that's a way that, that's one of the ways that, so my previous life, I was a strategic planner for a call center. And part of the strategy that I use now is I use your systems to help me build in or look at ways that I can attract better employees, right?
Mhm.
So, okay. So, now I know I got to charge for workman's comp. I got to charge for this. Well, do I want to send my guys to school? Do I want to have an opportunity to send them to school? Where am I going to get that from? Am I going to take that from my profit? No, I'm gonna say, all right, well, look, I've got X number of guys over the hours. This is what I'm going to spend on school, I think. And some of this is a guessing game, right? So you got to track, monitor, and whatever. And that's one of the great things about. I think one of the new sheets that you put out is going to help us do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I know you talked about it. So that I'm excited to see. So it's just stuff like that. Like you don't even think about it until you start getting into it. And here's the thing, right? You got to get, it's kind of a corny analogy, right? But you got to get to work in the morning, right? So are you going to go out and build the car or put the tires on or do whatever? No, you're going to buy the car so you can drive to work. Your stuff is kind of like the car, right? So if you go in, like if somebody was just starting out and they had all the stuff that you had there, and somebody obviously to explain it to them, they would be able to get up and running a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point of it. Like we share everything that we had in our landscaping business with you guys, and that's a huge time saver. Like I remember, like early on in our business, I bought some like forms kits and stuff, and it cost me. I'm not going to call it the company's name. They're still in business. They're still doing great. But it was like $700 for these forms. And it was like, I don't remember now, 15 different forms and stuff. But that seemed like a lot of money. But man, once I started implementing it, I was like, holy cow, this saves me so much time. And that's what it is. Everything we do is time. And
yeah,
the more stuff you spend trying to figure stuff out on your own and going to YouTube and research and reading or whatever it is, it just comes out of your time, whether it's time spending with family or doing what you need to do or jobs, whatever it is. So yeah, that's nice when it's all kind of set up and done for you.
No, don't recreate the wheel, right? Just make it look a little prettier.
Yeah, there you go. Just use it for inspiration, we'll say. That's what I like to say. But for those that are just hopping in, I'm joined by Brian Fox of Fox Pro Landscaping, and we're talking a little bit about some of the stuff that he has gone through in his landscaping business and some of the stuff that he's gained knowledge from the $1 Million Landscaper. This weekend, we are hosting our profitable estimating course. It's January 21st and 22nd. It is 2 full days. Now, Brian, were you in both days? I know you're in some, but
so I already went through the previous training. Is it the same thing? Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same one. Yep.
Yeah, more than likely I won't be in that training. I've gone through it a number of times. I've spent some one-on-one time with you. You've gone through it with me, which is good. So I am going to be. But I'm going to be tweaking my website because of the coaching calls. The 2-hour, 1 hour call we had yesterday.
Yeah. We were last night in the academy. We were joined by Carl Soros and Sites for Contractors. And he came on and we invited him on for an hour to kind of do some website reviews. And Carl's kind enough to stay on for 2 full hours of going through websites. It was a great event last night. And those are just some of the things we have going on inside the academy. The activity that's going on this weekend is just a 2-day event, and you were in that the previous one that we did, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It was 2 full days of talking and sharing the templates and stuff like that. So you mind talking a little bit about that, those 2 days?
Yeah. It was It was good. It was long. It was extensive. It was good though because you had plenty of breaks in there, which was really helpful. But you started out from like soup to nuts, right? From point A to point Z, and everything in between. You started breaking down the vehicle costs, what it costs for vehicles. Then you went in and you started breaking down labor costs and what it costs for labor. And you went into your budgeting sheets, which was great as well. So budgeting, the budgeting is that's, if I had to pick one eye-opening piece that you have, Scott, is probably that budgeting, the SOARs, doors, and mores. Because that gets you thinking as you're going through. That gets you thinking. And that's where you can start thinking about like, oh, I got computers that I have to pay for. I've got what's that? Jill's phone service or Jill's?
Yeah, Jill's office. Yep.
Jill's office. So you have all these other things, and it helps you. That sheet right there helps you add that to your quotes, to your bidding process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the biggest eye opener. But that weekend was definitely well worth my time.
Yeah, it's a long weekend. I will say it's like just getting done, just speaking. I'm like, holy cow, I'm tired. Like I can go to bed right afterwards. But yeah, it's a great time, and it's a great way to, spend a weekend as far as if you want to dive into your numbers and you need to know it from everything from point A, like he said, like Brian said, from point A to point Z, you're going to get everything. You're getting all the tools, you're getting everything in there. And it's essentially everything that we have in the Academy for knowing numbers. It's all the stuff in there. Now we do have some people that have asked, what's the difference between the $1 Million Academy and the numbers course? So the numbers course is specifically, you get the 2 days event, and you get a list of like courses that are inside the Academy. Now you don't get to have access to, like Brian has access to stuff we have on employees. We have stuff on some sales and marketing. And then like the group coaching call, like we had last night, you don't get those types of things in the numbers course. So the numbers course and the Academy are two different programs altogether. It's mainly the 2 day live event. Now you do have a lifetime access. If you do purchase the numbers course, you have lifetime access to those courses for just the numbers. But yeah, if you are looking, or if you're in the Facebook groups and asking how much I should be charging, or you're just finding yourself struggling trying to make money, you work all season long and then you get to the end of the season and you don't have any money in the bank, it's probably because your numbers are wrong. I can pretty much guarantee it. That's what it is. So this course will help you figure out what it is, whether it's your equipment or if it's your labor, or you're just missing out, like Brian said, the travel cost. Those things really add up very quick.
And being in the course too with all of the other people, all of the other landscapers that are out there, Scott, you hear some of those, you hear some of the same concerns, that you have, that other people have had. And, you get to experience those aha moments together. You can network, you can kind of lean on each other a little bit, especially if you join the recurring, the monthly recurring. It's a great community, because if you do have those questions, everybody's, everybody's always been helpful, so.
Yeah. And the nice thing in the Academy, there's people from just getting started to people of doing, millions of dollars a year. Like Colby, he's doing very well. Sal's doing very well for themselves. And it's nice to be able to gain that knowledge from whatever. And it's, I don't know, to me, it's rewarding to help people. And it's kind of nice. Like, I'm sure you've helped some of the other Academy members that are in there that are just getting started. So it's kind of a great community in there.
Yeah. I try to, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of overstepping my bounds, but I'm that person. I always want to help people.
Yeah. No, I never felt that way. So that's what the community is for. So, but again, guys, if you're interested in joining this course, it's happening January 21st and 22nd. Love to have you in there. It starts at 9 a.m. Saturday morning, goes to 4 p.m. Saturday. Yeah, 4 p.m. Saturday. On Sunday, we get done a little bit earlier, about 3, but it is 2 full days. You get all the templates, you get the estimating sheets, you get the calculators, and it's going to tell you everything from what your employees are costing you, which you might be surprised and might not be including everything. what your equipment's costing you. I can say one Academy member that went through the numbers course, he found out like his truck alone, just for him to go to job sites, was costing $7,000 in fuel. He was like blown away by that. Some people I know are shocked after I've gone through some of the numbers with them that their spin trimmers are costing like almost $2,900 a year. Once you start looking at the maintenance and fuel that all goes into it, and you're like, there's no way, I only paid $700 for this spin trimmer, weed eater, whatever you want to call it. But there's a cost that goes into that equipment. So if you are not charging for that equipment, you are losing out somewhere. And we are guilty of it too in our business. We used to add in a few, like a landscape project, we'd throw in a couple $100, hope for that would cover it. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But with our templates that we have in the Academy, the nice thing to me, at least, and Brian, please jump in and share, but I like the fact that it tells us your break-even point. You know where you're at and how low you can go. And if you want to raise it up, you want a higher profit margin, you can easily put that in. Or you want to lower it down, you can easily adjust it. Is that something that you kind of look at a lot? Or
it is. And the other thing I like about it too is that, you can come out with a bid, and if the customer wants to haggle, right, which 90% of the time, if you know your numbers, right, and you're bidding a fair price, a fair profit margin, most of the time that customer isn't going to haggle. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if they do, you know how much room you have to haggle, mm-hmm. So you can go back to the customer and say, sure, Mrs. Jones, we can't come down that much, but here's what we can do for you. Mm-hmm. And maybe make some concessions saying, maybe you can do one or two, maybe you can lower the plants and say they're smaller plants, and I'll take a little bit of the profit off. And that way you still get the job, you get the experience too. That's the key, is once you get the experience and your name gets out there and you can take pictures, you become, the expert. And you got to become the expert on your numbers first, because if you don't do that, you're not going to get any business.
Yeah.
I love it when people say I charge, $300 a yard to install mulch. Really? Even if it's like you're backing up the driveway and it's like right there on the side, that yard of mulch you're going to charge the same as it's, 55 yards up a hill to the right, behind, it's like, no, you gotta break it out. You gotta know your numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody had a question. They asked, is the course, let's see, Corey Parrish, is the course more for maintenance or landscaping? No. So you get all the templates, whether you're doing lawn maintenance, landscaping, irrigation, lighting, you get all the templates for your estimating. So just to kind of give you a quick run view of what actually you receive. If you buy the course, you'll get the equipment calculator, you'll get the labor and calculator, you'll get your overhead budgeting spreadsheet, you'll get, and those are the kind of like the three core numbers that you'll need to get, and you'll need to do that. We'll do that on the first day. And then the second day, we're actually going to take those numbers and apply it to the estimating systems. And we'll go through a lawn maintenance estimate, and you get the template for that. You'll get the template for landscaping, irrigation, landscape lighting. And the nice thing in these templates, we have it all laid out where it'll do the job costing for you. It'll give you the work order that you can give to your employees so they know what they need to do. If you do landscape lighting or irrigation, it'll give you the list that you can send out to your supply shop so they know what materials they need to get loaded up. So that way your crews can arrive, they have everything packaged up, and the crews can get out of there. These are all the things that need to be done just to speed up and increase your productivity in your business. So we put it all in one system. So you have access to both maintenance and landscaping for the same price. So.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, Scott. You brought up a good point. One of the things that this did is it cut our estimating time. Like we only spend about 20% of the amount of time estimating as we used to. Mm-hmm. We have cut it drastically. It's so quick to do estimates now. So that's the nicest. That's probably one of the other nice. That's if I had to think about the benefits, being able to produce that estimate and get it back into that customer's hand the same day. That right there, most of the time, I don't know what the number is. I can't remember what the number is. I know I read it, but X% of people take the first bid they get.
Yep.
I don't know what that number is. You probably know it.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I've heard somebody say that before. Yeah, it's true. And like, I can just tell from my experience, like when you're out there, you're talking to that customer, you get them pumped up, no matter what type of service it is, you're pumping them up because you're getting them excited about what you can do and how you can help them and solve whatever problem that you're doing or they have. And you get them excited. And if you can turn around and get the estimate to them quick, you're more likely to get that job. If you end up delaying it for a couple days or a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, that excitement level has now started to dwindle down. And time you give them that estimate, they're going to kind of forget about all those things, especially if somebody else has already been out there and talked to them. So the quicker you can turn around that estimate time, the better chance you have of closing that sale.
Yeah. And the sheets definitely help. So
yeah, that was the whole point of it. And the other reason for having those templates we have in there is so you don't forget stuff. I know I've told the story many times, but I remember forgetting a $900 biofall box for a water feature because it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to do my estimate and I was putting those numbers together and I totally just biffed it. I know it needs to go in there, but I just forgot about it. And I turned my bid in, sent the email over. I got the job, but I ate the cost of it. But I was like, after that point, I'm like, we got to come up with a better systematic approach where you go down the line, click this, put in the amounts, and it just makes it that much easier. And we also have in there, like Brian said, that we have the travel time, we have the loading time, cleanup time. These are all little things that get forgotten. Sod staples, marking paint, all those little things that you think are not that important, not that big of a deal. They add up over time. So you can't forget them, especially travel time. Well, Remington, one of the Academy members last night, hopped in. He was doing an estimate. It was a pretty large project. It was like $100,000 water feature. And he sent it over to me to review it just to make sure. And I noticed he forgot to put in there travel time and stuff like that and cleanup time. It was a $10,000 mishap that he forgot to put in there. So this system right there saved him $10,000. So being in the Academy or the numbers course more than paid for this that mess up he could have had right there. So so you guys, I encourage you to check it out. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to Brian on Facebook or whatever if you have any questions about the Academy or the numbers course. Either one can definitely help your business out and just streamline your home process, get your estimates done faster. You spend more time with your family because you can get your estimates done faster. Think about it that way. If your spouse is on you because you're not home, well, what can you do to change that? So, all right, Brian. Well, again, I appreciate you taking the time to hop in here tonight. Anything that you'd like to add or talk about?
No, I'm once I'm done here, I'm actually sending out some estimates.
There you go. Nice.
It was nice. It was nice. We're finally getting our first snowstorm, and I had a few other people call for plowing.
Okay.
Now, I like the ones that wait because I can charge them more.
Yeah, there you go. We won't tell them. Nice. All right, Brian. Well, again, I appreciate you hopping in here tonight. Thank you for being an Academy member and appreciate being helping out with everybody in the community.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Scott. And again, I'm glad I found the Academy. I appreciate everything that you guys have put together. It's a lifesaver for our business.
Yes, thank you for that. One thing I'll just point out here real quick for those they're still on. There are other similar courses out there. There are some things that are out there that I've just recently even come across on Facebook promoting something that speeds up your estimating. Now, I'm not knocking it, but I have looked at it and it just doesn't use your numbers. That's the whole key with our system is based on what you pay your people, what you pay for your equipment, what you pay for your insurance, your material, all that stuff. It's based on that. Some of these other systems that are out there, they help, but they don't tell you what you need to charge per hour or what your employees are costing you. So just something I want to point out. If you think I can go get this other system that's less than $100, well, just look at what you're getting before you do that.
I can speak to that because I belonged to 3 others prior to, and one of the things that I noticed, and one was actually more expensive than you, and they were not organized. You didn't have that level of organization. The website was difficult to navigate. Again, not really, not knocking him. The content was good, but the other thing it didn't provide was the community. And that community, man, I'm telling you, it's, that's worth its weight in gold,
Yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you hopping here. Thank you again, Brian, and we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Scott. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.